balance that it can maintain, it's going to get more difficult. I think the whole notion that America wanted not to widen the war in the Middle East that started in Gaza, I think it's going to notice slowly but surely that it is widening and that America is getting stuck. And whatever the mission is, it's becoming mission creep. The fact that it has to attack in Iraq and in Syria, in Yemen, and it has to deploy throughout the Red Sea and the East Mediterranean, America's getting sucked in. The shortest answer is the clearest answer.
So as you can see, and what we've been saying is that, the Most High is drawing all these nations into to the Middle East, where so-called Armageddon is going to take place. So as you heard him say, America's being sucked in, So this is why we're saying in Matthew 24, nation's going to rise up against nation, and there's going to be all these things taking place, in these latter days. You can see clearly this Bible prophecy is being fulfilled.
It's the simplest answer. President Biden needs to end the war in Gaza. This is no time to keep speaking about Iran-backed, right? If you read the Central Command, the CENTCOM Twitter feed, right? Every tweet has Iran-backed, right? Iran-backed this, Iran-backed that, Iran-backed the other thing. But as the president himself admits, that while these groups might be Iran-backed, but they're not necessarily Iran-directed. That these attacks are not necessarily part of a back-and-forth tit-for-tat between Iran and the United States through their proxies. That there are also groups from within, like, for example, the likes of Hezbollah, that's acting not necessarily on orders from Iran, it's acting in solidarity with the people of Palestine, for example. And you're going to see something like that in Syria and Iraq and in Yemen, whereby not everything is remote controlled from Tehran, that things just happen. And things might get out of hand easily, especially with those asymmetrical enemies that the United States has throughout the region. This will be, quite dangerous for a president who is in an election year and who vowed not to get sucked into the Middle East war.
Because we've seen in the past when there have been attacks on, say, U.S. military bases in Iraq, there has not always been an instantaneous military response. There is, one would imagine, a period of intelligence gathering to try to establish who it was in the first place that actually made the attack, and then create some sort of, as I say, proportional or directed response. But it is particularly interesting, isn't it, that Joe Biden has chosen to specify Iran within this rather than perhaps wait, and I'm not entirely sure when these attacks have happened, but rather than wait a little bit longer just to establish exactly who it was that fired that flew the drone in.
No, I think the boogeyman is necessary. You have to have an enemy more serious than these little groups in certain borders or certain gray areas. See, because it's a problem for the United States if its enemies are in the failed state of Yemen, the failed state of Syria, and the failed gray zones of Iraq, right? And part of Lebanon as well, right? This is not something you can afford to fight. This is how you get in trouble. The United States, and probably a lot of viewers around the world don't remember that, but the United States had that experience 30 years ago in Somalia, when it deployed to Somalia, and it thought it understood things, and it could control. And probably everyone remembers it on this famous or infamous Black Hawk Down or something. But these are not manageable. You think you can manage and you can contain and you can find out who's behind and who did this and you can punish them, like the United States tried to do in Iraq by hitting Al-Assad base. But at the end of the day, you're going to see sooner or later that the United States is going to be forced to redeploy out of Syria, redeploy out of Iraq. And there's already negotiations about that, right? And it might start to redeploy out of the Red Sea as well, because none of this, has any end in sight. What exactly is the objective? Neutralizing the Middle East? If there is no attempt at silencing Tehran itself, and apparently the president is not of the mind that he wants to have a major war with Iran, That means these things are just going to continue to happen. Today, 3 American soldiers are killed, 24 are injured. God knows how many of them, with heavy injuries. But this is going to continue, and it's already accumulating and it's already expanding.
Stick with us, Marlon, because I want to go to Russell Sutter. He's following the.
Yeah, okay, because it's going to continue because what's happening is fulfilling Bible prophecy. Bible prophecy is being fulfilled, and the Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is gathering our nations to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay, and you know, as Matthew 24 and I think it's 7 says, these are just the beginnings of sorrows. You know, the Most High is coming to judge the nations. So I wanted to share that with you guys today. Remember to like, share, subscribe. I'll be back with the next one. Peace.